Luke Stice coming along?
He's doing well. He's doing well. Got an adjustment to playing linebacker. He's been playing fullback, last few years at Houston, but lots of energy, high motor guy, brings lots of emotion. Kids respond to him, so we just got to get him some more reps there at linebacker.
I've only seen a limited amount, but it seems like the defensive line is coming along. How much of that is their progression, or maybe just the offensive line still trying to gel together a little bit?
Yeah, I hope it's their progression. I feel like, our offensive line, we have 3 returning starters, really, so it's a pretty solid group. So I think they're making strides. Some of those guys are growing up, adding Colin Hill, Andre Pipkin, some of those freshmen in the mix. They're playing well.
Speaking of X position, how's Tony Brown been looking? How's he coming back from the ankle?
He's been good. He's been healthy. The spring was a little bit difficult for him, but he's been running around, runs really good routes, has great hands. So it'll be a good competition between him and Willies and Devin Lauderdale.
The same thing at wide. How's that kind of going with with Giles and Sadler? Seems like those guys are going back and forth pretty good.
They are, and then you throw Zach Austin in the mix, who started a game for us against Baylor and had over 100 yards. So 3 guys that have all played a lot, and that's another position. I think at all 4 wide receiver positions, nobody's entrenched. There's great competition with kids that have played a lot of football.
What have you thought these first few days at Terry Gima and DJ?
Yeah, really good. Theory has been having the best camp he's ever had by far. He's bigger, stronger, faster, been making plays on the ball, tackling people. And then DJ, after the spring and starting to get used to playing corner, has really made big strides. He's bigger and stronger and getting his hands on people and being physical.
I know it's extremely early, Coach, but are you pleased with how the team is handling early practices so far right now?
I think so. I think there's been a lot of energy, been pretty chippy out here, lots of competition. And so that's good. I think both sides have some leadership that we may not have had that strong in the past, and so that's been fun to watch.
Are you in as much of the playbook as you'd like to be on both sides of the ball right now?
I think we're all in. I know I have, both quarterbacks have been here 3 years. A lot of the receivers have played a ton, running backs, O-line, so I know offensively we're all in, and I've assumed Coach Gibbs will be the same way.
Cliff, regarding Quentin White, do you see him is he competing with Felton and Dolphine for carries behind Justin, or is his role a little bit different? In other words, what kind of is his role this year?
Yeah, he'll be very versatile. He'll play kind of that off-back, full-back. He'll get touches. He'll get catches. He'll play some slot. He'll be a gunner. So he'll get a bunch of plays. I don't know where all we'll use him, but, he'll be all over the place.
Coach Gibbs said on Sunday that you guys would tackle more in practice than maybe in years past. How do you feel like that's going to help the team?
I felt like it helped this spring. We tackled more than we normally did, and just kind of forced tackles, slowed the game down, put them in situations where we knew guys would get tackled, 3rd and short, things of that nature, goal line, and just see how they responded. And it went well this spring, and we'll do it again in camp.
Cliff, I forgot to ask you about Christian Taylor. Him being listed on the roster as a linebacker now, did he move?
We did. We moved him down. He gained a bunch of weight when he got here, and we moved him down as a linebacker, and he's been good. I think he looks more comfortable down there and not in space as much, and so we'll see how he develops.
Is he kind of more of an outside guy?
Yeah, I'd say a Will type player for right now.
How you feel like it's almost only 2 days into contact, but I guess how these big group of true freshmen kind of handle things so far?
It's been good. The D-line has jumped out. They're big in numbers and compete hard and get after people, and they really haven't backed down to anybody. And then those long wideouts have done some good things, being able to throw the ball up to them, making plays.
Kind of along those lines, coaches always say, we'll find out how much a guy wants it when we get in pads. Any of the newcomers who have really caught your eye about wanting to hit?
Yeah, I think Joe Wallace, big D lineman, he's really, really turned on since we put the pads on him. He'll not afraid to mix it up, not afraid to get into a couple fights, and he won't back down from anybody.
I saw the report today that you guys added Ole Miss to the schedule. It looks like, what did you think about that addition in 2018 and just how the non-conference schedules come together?
Yeah, I mean, that's, a Kirby Hocutt deal, so I didn't know that was finalized. I knew that was in the works, but it'll be an exciting game for our fans. That's a great program, SEC program, getting to play them in Texas. So I think it'll be a great game.
How do you feel like the offensive line is performing so far?
Really well, really well. I think a lot more has been made about that than we're not stressing as much as maybe some people are, just because we have 3 returning starters. Terrence Steele is going to be a very, very good player, and then we're just kind of figuring out that 5th piece. But those veteran guys have really shown great leadership, and it's going to be a solid line.
Do you feel like the depth is there, though?
We'll see. Those young guys got to grow up. Since I've been here, we haven't had much depth at that position. This next spring, when we bring in some of those mid-year guys, we'll finally get caught up. So we just got to develop those young guys quick.
Do you feel like Terrence and Balin could switch left and right, or do you think that's probably going to be pretty solid like that?
I think it'll probably be that way. I think Justin Murphy's a guy who could slide out if we needed him to at either tackle, and so he'll be kind of our swing guy.
By what time do you want to make the actual decision at left guard with all those guys?
Yeah, I think after this scrimmage Saturday, we'll go ahead and figure it out. That allows them about 3 weeks to really gel together as a group and go from there.
How many plays are y'all going to go Saturday?
I'd say right around 100 total. So we'll probably have a couple good drives and then do a bunch of situations where we just see everybody tackle.
2 more.
Just noticing out here earlier when you guys were doing the early team, Adarian Jones working with the second group at cornerback. What have you seen from him? I know he's been here before. Is he a guy who could have some a future?
Yeah, I think so. He was a scholarship player at New Mexico State and transferred and sat out last year, learned our system. He's a tough kid from South Lake Carroll, great high school program, mixes it up, doesn't back down from anybody. So I think the coaches like that he always knows what to do. He's not afraid to mix it up, and he's one of those solid guys.
I guess what would you just like to see more polished by the time you guys reach that Saturday scrimmage?
I think just more discipline. Lots of fights, lots of chippiness that we just got to contain our emotions. So we'll get that straightened out by Saturday.
Is there a part of you that likes